So then if we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Supervisor Powers?
I'm sorry. Good and gracious Creator, we remember before you all poor and neglected persons whom it would be easy for us to forget, the homeless and the destitute, the old and the sick, and all who are broken in body and spirit. Lead us in the ways to turn their sorrow into joy. Amen.
Vice Chairman Fari?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to adopt tonight's agenda.
Motion has been made and second for this, adopt this evening's agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Carried. This time Corporation Counsel would like to come up and introduce their new employee, which is we're going to have underneath public comment, being it wasn't on the agenda.
All right, so this is Andrew Casper. He is a paralegal who has been with our office for a few years, and he is going to be moving into helping with legislation because, Julie, do you want to make the announcement?
I am guilty of stealing her other paralegal, Tori. Tori's coming to our office to be a very, very strong benefit for us, so we're excited.
And there's a big future for her there. We're hoping, and but we're very happy to have Andrew helping. So, Andrew Casper.
It'll be easy enough to find me through the directory if you have any questions or concerns, right?
KAS.
KASPAR.
Okay, at this time will be allowed for persons to present to express their opinion on any resolution or ordinance that appears on the agenda, as well as any matter which this body has jurisdiction. Pursuant to Rule 6.4 of the Rules of the Winnebago County Board, the County Board Chairman shall limit all public comments to 2 minutes. So make sure your name and your address is on the boards and the boards in the back. So who would like to be the first one to come up and speak? Come right up to either and state your name and address.
It's down there. Check. Good evening. My name is Tim Ernst, 617 West 5th, Oshkosh. I come here for 2 reasons tonight. First, I encourage the board to adopt resolutions 0225, 0226, and 0227 on tonight's agenda pertaining to PFAS, childhood trauma, and brownfield remediation. Second, I would like to request to the board, or maybe to the county executive directly, reports from both the county executive and the sheriff's department detailing the sheriff's department involvement in the Department of Homeland Security's 287G program. To me, based on my research, there is no observable benefit to the county for membership in this program. If immigrants posed a serious risk to safety or risk of violent crime, the sheriff could have joined the program years ago instead of months ago in March. Immigrants are roughly 4% of the county population. Research published by the National Institute of Justice, which is part of the Federal Department of Justice, show that immigrants commit violent crimes at much lower rates than native-born citizens. This means there is no real unique benefit to health or safety of the community or the county when it comes to violent crime. Furthermore, we've also seen recently, unfortunately, that the Department of Homeland Security uses white nationalist rhetoric on their webpage and in their press conferences, which empirically is a much better precursor to violent crime than the presence of immigrants in a community. And finally, as you know, the Sheriff Department budget has been increased in the past at the expense of money to other departments to help fund law officers for the Sheriff's Department. It does not make sense to me to sacrifice time and resources from the Sheriff's Department in order to meet federal duties when we can't even meet, when there's not enough people to meet duties on the county level. So given all of this, I see no clear reason to support participation in the program. So I would like comment from the Sheriff and the county exec on why we're doing it.
Thank you.
Thanks, nice to see you again.
Who'd like to come next? Step right up.
Hello, I'm here to speak on Resolution
State
0.
your name and address, please.
Yes, Jennifer Skolaski, Oshkosh. Resolution 0226 and approval of it. Hello, my name is Jennifer Skolaski, and I'm a parent of 2 students at Reed Elementary, one 9-year-old who is here who wanted to see this process in action. So thank you for letting her be here. I lead the Reed Rocket Booster Group, a non-traditional parent-teacher organization that supports students, families, and staff at Reed. First off, thank you to the county board for moving forward with approval of this grant and for supporting a practical, locally driven solution to barriers facing students and families in Oshkosh. As a parent at Reed Elementary, this is not an abstract policy. These positions will have a real, immediate impact by helping families connect to existing resources more efficiently and earlier before small problems become costly ones. This approach supports work. When parents can access childcare, transportation, and basic stability, they are better able to stay employed, advance in their jobs, and contribute to the local economy rather than relying on crisis services later. It also supports education and accountability. When students come to school ready to learn, teachers can teach, classrooms function better, and schools can focus on academic outcomes rather than emergencies. This is a smart use of dollars. It leverages partnerships, avoids duplication, and focuses on prevention, which is consistently more cost-effective than remediation. Most importantly, it strengthens our community from the ground up. Strong families, a reliable workforce, and students prepared to become responsible, productive adults. This is a win for taxpayers, employers, families, and schools. Thank you for your leadership and allowing me to role model to my daughter, even though I'm incredibly nervous, what it means to advocate for your school and community. Thank you.
Thank you. Your mom did a good job.
Hello, everybody. Ryan Rasmussen, 2630 Templeton Place here in Oshkosh. I am here on behalf of the Oshkosh Area Community Pantry. I am also the executive director, and I'm here to offer my enthusiastic support for the WPP Community Impact Grant application that was submitted by the Winnebago County Health in partnership with the Oshkosh Area School District. This funding will help advance the implementation of community schools in our district, a model that aligns deeply with OACP's mission and our shared commitment to equity, health, and long-term community well-being. OACP operates our own school pantry program across several district sites, providing direct food assistance to children and their families in accessible, familiar spaces. This partnership is grounded in our belief that academic success is closely tied to stable access to basic needs, including nutrition. Currently, there are 4,400 students that are utilizing our program, which directly correlates with the Oshkosh Area School District's data of over 50% of the school population being economically disadvantaged, or in our world, meaning food insecure. Community schools elevate our model by embedding wraparound support services directly to the school environment and addressing root causes of inequity like poverty, food insecurity, and lack of access to essential services. We believe community schools are powerful, evidence-based strategy to reduce health disparities and promote educational and social wellness. These schools offer a coordinated approach where the community partners, educators, and families come together to support the whole child, academically, physically, and emotionally. The addition of a community school coordinator role ensures that services like food access, mental health support, and family engagement are delivered efficiently, equitably, easing the burden off school staff who are already spread thin, and expanding the system of care for students. OACP is fully committed to continuing and growing our support of the community school model through ongoing food access, partnership, and collaboration. We recognize the potential of this initiative to transform the trajectory of our youth and to strengthen the health of our entire Winnebago County community.
Hello, I'm Christy DeChamps. My home resident address is 4520 North Winding Brook Drive in Appleton. I am here as a professional, though, that works in Winnebago County. In support of Resolution 0226 for community schools. I'm a social worker for the past 28 years. I hold professional credentials as an advanced practice social work state of Wisconsin license and a school social worker through the Department of Public Instruction. My background includes 16 years as a school social worker and 10 years as a social worker in child welfare, working with kids in the foster care system. I'm currently in my third year in a role as a regional educational support agency that supports 39 public school districts, including our school districts here in Winnebago County. My involvement with this initiative started in the fall of 2024 when I was invited to the Winnebago County Childhood Trauma Task Force, of which I am still actively involved. I also have direct experience with community schools when I was a school social worker in the Appleton Area School District. In that time, I was a homeless liaison supporting almost 600 students in that school district who were experiencing homelessness. I worked in close collaboration with our two schools that at the time were our community schools. I worked with our community resource coordinators. I also linked families that I was working with in the school district to the community school resource coordinators. I feel that the key areas of benefit for community schools is that it enhances connection between the school district and the people that live in the community. It provides wraparound support beyond just academics and expands to supporting basic needs of children and their families, such as food, hygiene supplies, educational supplies, and it also helps to link them to existing community resources. Communities can be resource rich, but often are complicated to access in a multi-system siloed system. Community schools help with resource navigation, helping families understand what resources and help is available, how to apply, and how to access them. Having a location inside a school is a positive benefit because it builds positive relationships, trust, and connections for families with their school and impacts school attendance and family engagement. It creates bridges, and I think Winnebago County has a true opportunity to impact ground level community impact for community families. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Heidi Thomas, 2100 Hickory Court here in Oshkosh. I'd like to say that I have notes here that are nearly as articulate as the prior two speakers, but I have not gotten to that point. So I would echo what they say. The reason I'm here is because I am the CEO of Oshkosh Area United Way and wanted to show our support for 0226 for community schools. This is a program that is run by United Way in other parts of the state very successfully. They have much more manpower, so here we'd love to see it being run by the health department. One of the priorities that Oshkosh Area United Way has is to ensure that the resources that are available in our community are being utilized to their full capacity. This role in the schools enables that without putting additional strain on the social workers that are already in the schools. We've worked very hard with the hygiene task force with the health department, as well as the agencies that we fund, as well as agencies that are just partner agencies, to utilize what already exists and ensure that it gets where it needs to be when it needs to be there. Thank you.
Hello, I am Ty Johnson, owner of Johnson Pile Driving, a local contracting company, marine contracting. We have a business for over 36 years working in the Winnebago water system. The reason we are here tonight is because we want to discuss the maintenance of existing wet boathouses in Winnebago County. We currently have 4 individual landowners in Winnebago County that want to repair an existing wet boathouse that was originally built in the 50s and 60s. According to the state statute 31213C, we meet the exception which allows 50% assessment rule not to be applied. All the boathouses were built prior to December 1979 and do not affect the area, size, location, and conversion into living quarters. We currently have approved permits from the DNR and the Army Corps of Engineers. In the past, zoning would not require any additional permits for these projects because we had state approval and federal approval. Since Eric Stadig was a water management specialist from Winnebago County, these 4 projects has been at a standstill due to Eric stating that the zoning permit was required. We met with Kerry Rowe in the beginning of June of 2025 regarding these projects. After numerous meetings and conversations with him, his response was the DNR, Eric, advised him that they must review this application in compliance with the floodplain zoning code. Kerry then stated that the boathouse would be limited to the 50% of the equalized assessed value for improvements per the terms of the zoning code, with not acknowledging the statute 31213C. All these boathouses are water-dependent structures. They are considered on over water and is a permitted use in the zoning codes. The permitting issues need to be addressed as some of the DNR permits will expire in August of 2026 and cannot be renewed. We came here tonight to make the board aware of the situation and hope to resolve this so that we can move forward with the projects and our customers. Thanks.
Good evening. My name is Sam Coleman. I reside in the city of Oshkosh. Thank you. And I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of the resolution pertaining to the Wisconsin Partnership Program, agenda item M2. I am here to offer my support for this resolution and urging the board to vote to accept the Partnership Community Impact Grant to advance the Winnebago County's Community Schools Initiative. I serve as the Assistant Superintendent for the School District of Oshkosh, and it is my honor to serve the students and families here in the city of Oshkosh, and I believe deeply in partnerships. I believe that we are able to have the impact that we are, not just because of our amazing teachers, but certainly because of the amazing parents, families, and the partners that we rely on. As outlined in the report made available to you in the packet for tonight, the Winnebago County Public Health Department has been working in partnership with the Oshkosh Area School District and UW Oshkosh since, I got here in 2023, so probably way before that. And these collaborative efforts have resulted in not only strong partnerships, but also securing the grant and the partnerships to pilot a 3-year initiative titled Addressing and Preventing Childhood Trauma in Winnebago County using a community schools approach. This strategy is designed to place 2 full-time community health workers directly within elementary schools to collaboratively address barriers that interfere with student learning and family stability. We see this as a strategy to advance public health goals. The November 2025 agenda item report makes a compelling case for why this national model is necessary and has proven to be effective in communities across Wisconsin. Local data cited in that same report highlight stark realities that are tied to poverty, adverse childhood experiences, and chronic stress. These factors that research consistently identify as key social determinants of health and educational outcomes. Collectively, this proposed strategy is expected to directly and meaningfully benefit hundreds of students and their families. This proposal is further strengthened by its intentional design for direct impact and accountability. I urge you to support this proposal that we bring forward, and I thank you all for your support of our students and families.
Good evening. I'm Reverend Ellen Rasmussen. I live here in Oshkosh, and I'm speaking on behalf of the congregation. I serve at 1174 Algoma Boulevard, the Algoma Boulevard United Methodist Church. Here to offer public testimony in strong support of accepting the Wisconsin Partnership Program grant to implement community schools at Reed Elementary and Menominee Elementary. Algoma Boulevard UMC is a next door neighbor to Reed Elementary School. Because of that proximity, we do not experience the needs of this neighborhood in the abstract. We see them daily. We also see its strength, resilience, and deep care for children and families. The community schools model recognizes a truth many of us already know, that student success is inseparable from family stability, access to healthcare, food security, mental health support, and trusted community relationships. This grant allows schools, public health, and community partners to work together in coordinated, accountable ways to address those realities. From the perspective of a faith-based community partner, this collaboration matters deeply. Our congregation already serves families through meals, space sharing, relationship building, and neighborhood presence. Community schools give structure, sustainability, and shared leadership to work that too often falls on isolated organizations trying to respond to complex needs alone. What is especially compelling about this grant is that it is preventative, not reactive. It invests in children before crises escalate, strengthens families before they fracture, and supports educators by surrounding them with partners who can help remove non-academic barriers to learning. As a pastor, I also want to name that community schools strengthen the whole community. When children thrive, neighborhoods stabilize. When families are supported, public systems function more effectively. This is a wise use of public funds that multiplies impacts rather than duplicating services.
Thank you.
Hi, Emily Eisenschink. I'm resident of Appleton. I'm here as the principal of Reed Elementary. I am speaking, asking for your vote in support of the Community Schools Resolution 0226. To offer you some perspective, of the 380 students attending Reed at this time, 80% are experiencing poverty. When we learned that our school was already doing more than the minimum requirement of a community school, it formalized that work that we're doing, and your vote today will help us move forward in supporting the food, clothing, housing, transportation, employment, AODA resources, and support of mental health needs that go far beyond the work of a teacher in the classroom. Currently, teachers are spending their limited prep and family time meeting individuals' needs, ensuring that students are fed, clothed, housed, and cared for so that they are able to learn. One statistic we pulled that was in one school year, teachers and staff teachers and staff and their families, because some moms helped too, spent $9,000 providing snacks and classroom food so that kids could eat. That's above and beyond the free meal program and what was provided by families. We're so thankful for our local food pantry and Algoma Boulevard Methodist Church next door to us. Having a county worker on site connecting families to resources will allow teachers to focus on their purposeful planning, rigorous engagement, and access to high-quality teaching and learning. My teachers and I will be able to focus on a love of learning in hopes that the next generation may not require such high level of intervention. By approving this grant, you are saying yes to a short-term commitment with long-term return on investment. It's our shared goal to have a healthy, learning, thriving Oshkosh. I want to give my gratitude to those in attendance in support of this as well tonight. Thank you.
Doug Nelson, 214 North 6th Avenue, Winnebago. First, as a supervisor, I'd just like to thank everybody for their participation today. We don't get a lot of public participation, and it's good to hear all of the comments made. I just want to let all the supervisors know that what Johnson Pile Driving and their people they're representing What they're asking for is exactly what we did for the sheriff's boathouse that was built a couple years ago. They didn't enlarge the footprint, they just built exactly, reality is it's probably a foot or two too narrow because we couldn't enlarge it. The gentleman at the DNR that said a county permit is required is the same gentleman that prevented several of the seawalls, the rock structures that we wanted to do. We put together a resolution, I believe it was one of the few unanimous votes, to tell Madison to let us issue permits if they can't issue permits. He's no longer in the Winnebago area, but somehow he left some rules behind at the county level that says we can't do what the county did. So I just wanted to clarify those points a little bit. I think they're very important moving forward. Thank you.
Anyone else from the audience wish to speak? Anyone else? Anyone on Zoom? Last time, anyone from the audience? Not hearing anyone, that part is closed. Communication, communication from county clerk.
Good evening, everyone. We have 2 petitions for zoning that will be referred to the Planning and Zoning Department. The first one is from Robert and Darlene Karras in the town of Winneconne, rezoning from A2 to R1 for tax parcel number 030013902. The second one is for Gizmo Farm Properties LLC in the town of Nakaimai, rezoning from A2 to R1 for tax parcel number 0120130. And then we have a notice of claim from Lyle and Sandra Forsgren, Tussler Law SC, and Subro IQ for damage to their vehicle. And that's all I have.
Reports from committees, commissions, and boards. Any reports this evening? Vice Chairman Farre.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wish to announce the Legislative Committee will be held on January 26th, in other words, upcoming Monday at 8:30 a.m. at the Calkins Center. Those who are chairman of the committees, commissions, and boards should have the packet on your desk. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Supervisor Bender.
I'd like to recognize an employee from the Extension Office that received an award from the Governor's Office. We are proud to announce the ReReady Focus on Finance program from the University of Wisconsin-Madison Division of the Extension Human Development and Relationship Institution has selected the Governor's Council Financial Literature capability to receive the Governor's Financial Literacy Award for 2025. This is a prestigious award recognizing outstanding efforts to promote financial literature capability across Wisconsin. The ReReady program equips individuals with essential finance skills as they transition back into the communities, making a meaningful impact on living for their future. Congratulations to Todd Wenzel, Human Development Relation Educator, for this incredible achievement and commitment to empowering Wisconsin residents. It's one of the good things that we do in the Extension. We got a lot of good programs, financial, Rent Smart, and it's amazing all the work they put in there to make our community a better place for us to live.
Congratulations to him. Anyone else? Supervisor Nelson.
Yeah, as long as we're bringing up good news, I just want to let everybody know last year we had a highway department employee that was literally run over by a snowplow and had horrible injuries, and his outcome was in question. Lives in Winneconne. I've bumped into him a couple times in the last week or so, and he's doing extremely well other than a little hitch in his get along. He seems to be doing wonderful. I had a chance to talk to him and so forth, and after 3-4 months in the hospital and countless surgeries, just want to let everybody know he's up and doing pretty darn good.
Good for him. Supervisor Hintz, I didn't see the names up there before because they weren't, so, and Doug was waving his hand, so Supervisor Hintz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to let everybody here know that next Tuesday, the 27th at 3:30 p.m., the Facilities and Property Management Committee will be meeting, and we have an item that just came through Aviation Committee, and this is something that we have dealt with and talked about as a board, and this is the rates for the hangars at the airport. And I would encourage as many of you, even if you can't attend, to at least watch this, because I'm pretty sure that we're going to have quite a few of the pilots that are going to show up and discuss this item. I would also advise you to go back and watch the Aviation Committee meeting from the beginning of the month, because this is going to more than likely be coming to the board as a whole for us to vote on. And I would like that everybody would have their information, and if you have any questions, that way before the meeting, we can get those taken care of with Director Shell, and we can hopefully avoid having the lengthy discussion that we've had in the past when this has come forward. So again, that's next Tuesday, the 27th at 3:30 p.m. at the facilities building on Knapp Street. And hope, like I said, if you can't make it, at least go on and listen to what's said there, because we're going to have a lot of public input on that. Thank you.
Supervisor Facetto.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to piggyback on what Supervisor Hins was talking about. You might want to go back to the December Aviation Committee meeting as well. Combination of December and January, that'll give you the full flavor and context of what John's talking about. And in addition, you might want to look for a bigger room, because the room you guys meet in is really, really small. So just keep that in mind. Thank you.
And you'll have to remember, if there's too many board members in there, somebody's going to have to go out, because you can't all be in there and you'll have a quorum. So you'll have to watch for that, Chairman. Not seeing any other one. Is there anyone on Zoom? Okay, we'll continue on. County Executive Report and Appointments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Happy New Year, everyone. I just wanted to start tonight with some reflection on the retirements that we'll be recognizing tonight, and what it means for an organization to support employees through decades of service. You're going to recognize 9 retiring employees who collectively dedicated 259 years of service to Winnebago County. We're losing a lot of experience, institutional knowledge, and commitment to public service. I know a lot of work has been done by this board and by staff to evaluate compensation, paid time off, and other benefits to support employee retention. And that's something we're all going to have to keep working on as we strive to create conditions today that will lead to employees hired today retiring with decades of service to Winnebago County in the future. We know there's a labor shortage, especially in a lot of the skilled fields that we compete with in both the public and private sector. Our county workforce is the backbone of everything we do, and these retirements are a reminder of the value of experience, teamwork, and the pride that comes with serving the public. So thank you to our retiring employees for your years of dedication, and congratulations on a well-earned next chapter. Your impact will continue to be felt for years to come. Next up, I just wanted to mention the Connect program. I want to thank the board for engaging with the presentation on Connect at the prior board meeting with curiosity, and the committee for their thorough review of the proposal. Connect is one of those programs that the public doesn't always know, but we do. When you find someone who has had their life impacted by Connect, you quickly learn how important the program is. We recently had, I recently attended a drug court graduation, and every time I do, you see the impact that the community has built over the years, and you know how wide the impact of these programs are. It's stunning to see people come back to celebrate the newest round of people doing the hard work of recovery. And if you're ever looking, at a time when we sometimes only pay attention when government programs fail or hit the news, if you ever want to see an example of, government creating opportunity, changing lives, look no further than some of the programs like drug court that are a part of our Connect program. So thank you to our human services and district attorney staff for working together to find effective, efficient ways for our county to operate programs, and I'm confident that we're going to continue to see the same great success with little change to the program from a client's perspective. Lastly, I wanted to say a few things about the Wisconsin Partnership Program grants to fully fund a 3-year, $500,000 community school pilot program. The community school, as we heard from people coming from a variety of backgrounds, it's an evidence-based model that exists around the country. There are around 30 community schools in Wisconsin, including in some Prairie, Appleton, and Green Bay. We're always looking for collaboration, and the fact that the program is a partnership between the Oshkosh Area School District, University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh, and Winnebago County to provide wraparound support for families to address food insecurity, housing, and transportation barriers make it something that we should really be, the kind of opportunity we should really be seeking. These are kind of collaborations we really work towards as a county. And I'll remind folks that if you read through your materials, we're going to be designing, building ways to evaluate what's working and what's not, so that there's an effective mechanism, to learn about what kind of interventions will be the most effective. But the goal is to reduce chronic absenteeism, improve student engagement, foster better classroom environments so teachers can focus on academics instead of emergencies. It's simple. Let's get kids to school with food in their bellies and make sure they have a warm place to sleep at night, and that'll let teachers focus more on teaching. The grant fully funds the program, requires no county levy dollars, includes the evaluation, as I just mentioned, from UW-Oshkosh will provide, and the university will also lead a rigorous data-driven evaluation, ensuring evidence-based strategies, and they'll be gathering continuous feedback through quarterly interviews and local data collection. The program calls for the advisory board, composed of school administrators, community health workers, nonprofit partners, and research partners, to provide a community-driven structure focused on the real outcomes for children and families. This structural collaboration is designed to strengthen those partnerships. And I'm sure this is the kind of thing, instead of just seeing what happens in 3 years, we can get updates on as they're willing to demonstrate and share the progress that's made. And that's something that I would like to see more of, before this board is, when we make decisions like this, and I hope we will tonight, that we get updates on how things are going over the 3 years. So this is an opportunity to do something transformative for our children, for their future, and for the well-being of our entire community, and I hope that gets your support tonight. And that's all I had.
I know there's some questions out there. I have a couple right here on that partnership grant. I heard Oshkosh being offered up an awful lot, but what about the other outside communities in Appleton and Neenah and Menasha and all of them up in there? Or is it going to be just Oshkosh is going to get all the money?
I believe this specific grant is designed with Winnebago County, the Oshkosh Area School District, and with UW-Oshkosh. And with the 2 schools that were identified as part of Oshkosh Area School District. I don't know if anybody from Public Health has anything related to other districts or opportunities for consideration. I was not at the committee.
All right, Ashley Romlow with Public Health. Yes, we have been in collaboration with all of those school districts that you mentioned. There were Hannah Wainio, our community health strategist, has been in meetings with all of those school districts and brought them in to learn about this community schools model. And it just so happened when this grant opportunity became available that we had the right partners and the motivation with Oshkosh School District to do a quick turnaround and collaborate and have this grant move forward at that time. But all of those other school districts that are interested in community schools models are keeping their eyes on this. And so we're piloting it in Oshkosh and hoping that we can roll it out in other schools, both within Oshkosh and throughout Winnebago County.
Supervisor Facetto.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. County Executive Hintz, I just had one quick question, clarification, and I couldn't find it in the human resource charts, but in the last whereas, you indicate that the special programs coordinator will be eliminated, but will be creating a supervisory position for the Connect program. Is that really a net zero if you're going to be going from a coordinator to a supervisor position, or did I just miss it in the material?
I didn't bring the materials up with me. I don't know if someone from District Attorney Spar is here, and I think, you know, it was more of a design thing, but I think with the goal of being cost neutral.
Yeah, so they're. Now it is, okay. So there are the positions that are moving. There's also, there's a chunk of money, a lot of it is associated with the drug testing and alcohol testing that's being transferred as well. There are some other funds that are in there, such as for training and things like that. So the overall transfer is going to cover that change, the overall amount that's being transferred. So the amount that's coming with the positions and also the associated non-salary money coming from Human Services will cover that position and continue all the other services.
So a supervisor does make a little bit more than just a coordinator is kind of what the bottom line.
Yeah, I think that's fair. We don't have the, I guess, I submitted a draft of a position description for the supervisor to Human Resources, but we don't have that finalized yet. I don't know what category it would be in, but it is anticipated it would be somewhat of a bump.
Right. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Supervisor Bender.
Would it be possible next month to get an update on the planetarium on the attendance? And if we are taking the portable to school, how often? I mean, it'll make our decision easier in the future. I don't know how the fundraising's going either. I know they were trying to raise $5 million. I haven't heard nothing on that. And I know we'll have stuff coming up. And if I had a little more information on how the planetarium's going in the fundraising, it'll make my decision and the rest of the county boards easier in the future.
You bet. We'll make
Thank you.
sure we have it.
Supervisor Hanson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to piggyback off of one of your questions that I had also written down regarding 226. I'm extremely curious why this is being administered through the county and the Department of Health rather than the school districts themselves, especially in naming Oshkosh. We also have Neenah, Menasha, Omro, and Winnebago. I am in the Menasha area, and I can categorically state that there would be students that might benefit from this too. So how would my vote help them? They can watch all they want, but how does that help them with two people parked in two schools?
So I think if you heard Public Health speaking a minute ago, there's interest from school districts throughout the county that face a lot of the same challenges that are watching closely, you know, what happens in Oshkosh. It just happens to be that with the work that Public Health does, and again, it is a collaboration, but you know, that I think the district and the university recognize their capacity and their expertise, given the work they do and a number of the number of the existing work done on a lot of the issues related to childhood trauma, poverty, hunger, and the relationships they have at being, you know, the appropriate place for those to be parked. I think if we see other districts, you know, move forward, especially if there's success with this in Winnebago County, those two could partner and see those positions, which again, you know, are grant funded. They're not permanent, you know, housed at Winnebago County Public Health as well.
Well, I understand, but I'm uncomfortable with melding the county programs and resources, especially when it's parked just in two schools. What could be considered as interfering or stepping on the toes in the municipal areas. I'm not understanding why school boards, school administrators, or this couldn't be done through the school health nurses.
We're negotiating something that has yet to be brought to
He's asking him a question, and that's what
No,
he
it's
just.
not a question anymore.
Well, you got to put it into a question. They said you're not asking questions.
My question is, how is this not stepping on the toes of the municipalities or the school districts? What if a school board decides, I don't like what this county just said or did? I'm not understanding.
Because community health workers have the relationships in other areas. Part of what the county does is coordinate and maximize its resources by working with other entities like nonprofits that are out there that school districts may not naturally have. I think they primarily, have school nurses, have school lunch programs. But, again, I'm not an expert in this area, but I think the role of public health is about coordinating, especially in all of these areas. And this isn't a newer kind of collaboration, so you're right to ask questions, but it's an easier expansion of what the county does, I think, than what school districts do.
I guess I'll reserve then the rest of my questions for when it's introduced. I just, since United Way has been named as administering this in other areas, I think it would probably be more appropriate that these grants went through United Way or through the school districts themselves.
Supervisor Powers.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Executive, were you going to make an appointment to the Winnebago County Housing Authority? We have that in our packet.
Yes, I was going to do that after my questions.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And I just had one appointment
Oh,
tonight.
okay.
I would like to appoint Crystal Lulks to the Winnebago County Housing Authority for a term expiring April 19th, 2027.
Motion made and seconded to appoint Crystal Laux to a 3-year term expiring April 19th, 2027, Winnebago County Housing Authority. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Carried.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, excuse County Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Harris and Supervisor Halber. Them are the only ones that I got called on being excused, so I believe everyone else is here. As far as any kind of a report, to make it short like I usually do, but County Executive and I have talked over that we've still got to get another ARPA meeting in here and get that done, and also the housing money's been approved, so we have to get going on that. So we both agree as soon as possible and everything gets straight, we will be having one of them. So we didn't forget about them. Honoring retired county employees, Supervisor Cox. It's on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have several resolutions to read, and we're going to let Steph Holst second them. The first one would be, I'd like to move that we accept Resolution 02-1301-2026 for Michelle Peters.
Motion's made and seconded. We'll go through all of these, and then our clerk will read them, and then we'll have the motion to approve them, just like we have been in the past. You just go right at your next resolution will be 0214. That's, you just go to number 2, yes.
I'd like to approve Resolution 0214-01-2026. Patrick R.
Second.
I'd like to approve Commendation 0215-01-2026 for Todd Christie.
Second.
I'd like to approve Resolution 0216-01-2026 Commendation for Todd Christopherson.
Second.
I'd like to approve 0217-01-2026. Patty, accommodation for Patty Bedecker.
Second.
Would like to approve resolution 0218, 01-2026, accommodation of David Kahn.
Second.
I'd like to approve resolution 0219, 01-2026, accommodation of Diane Culver.
Second.
I would like to approve 0220, 01-2026, with accommodation of Sherry Jones.
Second.
Finally, I would like to have approved 0221, 01-2026, with accommodation of David Mann.
Second.
Okay, if the clerk would read the commendations, please.
I have a commendation for Michelle Peters. Shelley Peters started her career as a dispatcher with the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office in 1994. Since then, Shelley was a cornerstone of our 911 communications center. Prior to joining the Sheriff's Office, she served as a community service officer with the Oshkosh Police Department, and she is a veteran of the U.S. Army Reserve. During her career, Shelley served as a dispatcher in charge, a consummate subject matter expert, and go-to authority for all things dispatch related. Shelley was also a primary trainer for many years, imparting her decades of knowledge upon new hires. Shelley's 31 years of exemplary service to the citizens of Winnebago County is appreciated and deserving of recognition. Please join me in expressing our gratitude and best wishes as Shelley enters a well-deserved retirement. The second one is a commendation for Patrick Arndt. Rick Arndt began his career with the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office in 2000. Rick spent the entirety of his career in the Correction Division, filling various roles. Rick was a field training officer, the court security officer, a member of the transport unit, as well as a correctional emergency response team leader. Rick was known for his keen sense of humor and his ability to lighten the mood. He had an uncanny ability to create rapport with inmates and oftentimes was able to de-escalate tense situations through communication. Co-workers were always glad to see Rick arrive when dealing with difficult inmates. Rick's 25 years of distinguished service to the citizens of Winnebago County is both commendable and appreciated. Please join me in expressing our gratitude and best wishes as Rick enters retirement. The third one is a commendation for Todd Christie. Todd Christie started his career with the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office as a reserve deputy in 1995 before becoming a corrections deputy in 1996. He transferred to patrol in 1998 and was promoted to patrol sergeant in 2002. Todd was promoted to patrol shift lieutenant in 2006 and later became the professional standards lieutenant. Todd was promoted to patrol captain in 2011 and later transferred to the corrections and detective divisions. Todd finished his career as the captain of the newly created Field Services Division. During his career, Todd was a field training officer, a unified tactics instructor, an assistant SWAT team leader, and the tactical team leader. Todd's 30 years of distinguished service to the citizens of Winnebago County is both commendable and appreciated. Please join me in expressing our gratitude and best wishes as Todd enters retirement. I have a commendation for Todd Christofferson. Todd Christofferson started his career with the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office as a corrections deputy in 1992 and transferred to patrol in 1996. Todd was promoted to patrol sergeant in 2000 and later transferred to corrections sergeant. Todd eventually returned to patrol as a sergeant before being promoted to patrol shift lieutenant in 2004. After being appointed as the acting patrol captain from 2008 through 2010, he was promoted to patrol captain in 2011. Later in 2011, Todd became the chief deputy and under sheriff. Throughout his career, Todd was a SWAT team leader, a unified tactics instructor, and a field training officer. Todd dedicated his life to serving the citizens of Winnebago County. Todd's 33 years of distinguished service to the citizens of Winnebago County is both commendable and appreciated. Please join me in expressing our gratitude and best wishes as Todd enters retirement. I have a commendation for Patty DeDecker. Patty DeDecker began her career with the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office as a corrections deputy in 1998. Patty came to the Sheriff's Office with prior experience working as a student security officer and dispatcher at the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh Police Department, completing an internship at Winnebago Mental Health Institute, and serving as a correctional officer at the Outagamie County Sheriff's Office. Patty was a positive, hard-working deputy. Patty regularly represented the agency at job fairs to promote the Sheriff's Office and share her experience with potential recruits. Patty was also a field training officer within the Corrections Division for over 15 years. Patty's 27 years of distinguished service to the citizens of Winnebago County is both commendable and appreciated. Please join me in expressing our gratitude and best wishes as Patty enters retirement. I have a commendation for David Mack. Dave Mack started his career with the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office as a corrections deputy in 1995 before transferring to patrol in 1999. He was promoted to detective in 2003, patrol sergeant in 2004, and patrol shift lieutenant in 2008. As a lieutenant, Dave went on to transfer to the Corrections Division and then to training and special operations. After serving a temporary assignment as a detective lieutenant, Dave was promoted to detective captain in 2012 and transferred to corrections captain in 2021. During his career, Dave served as a field training officer and a unified tactics instructor. He worked in the MEG unit, was an assistant tactical team leader, and SWAT team leader. Dave's 30 years of distinguished service to the citizens of Winnebago County is both commendable and appreciated. Please join me in expressing our gratitude and best wishes as Dave enters retirement. I have a commendation for Diane Culver. Diane Culver started working in the Winnebago County Planning and Zoning Department as a cartographer in 1991. In 1995, she became a Geographic Information Systems specialist and was instrumental in creating the county's first GIS known as WINGS. As a GIS specialist and later GIS specialist too, she drew on her deep geographic knowledge of key county issues to create maps, GIS applications, and visualizations, informing staff, officials, and the public about real-world situations they faced. Beyond her technical skills, Diane's humor and professionalism were key to her success. She worked on many topics, including 911, NG 911, dispatch mapping, parcel mapping, emergency response planning, zoning mapping, county supervisory redistricting, and many more. Diane's 34 years of service will leave a lasting impact on Winnebago County and everyone she worked with. We wish her well in her travels and new adventures. Commendation for Sherry Jones. Sherry began her career at Parkview Health Center in June of 1997 and has served as an activity and therapeutic wellness professional throughout her employment with Winnebago County. Throughout her tenure, Sherry consistently demonstrated a deep commitment to enhancing the quality of life for every resident. Her positive energy, compassion, and kindness brought joy and happiness to both residents and co-workers alike. While Sherry will be greatly missed at Parkview, she plans to remain connected by returning to assist with the annual car show, an event in which she played a significant role in its success. As she enters retirement, Sherry already has several trips planned and well-deserved. Sherry's contributions have left a lasting impact, and she will be sincerely missed. We wish her a fulfilling and joyful retirement. And a commendation for David Binner. Dave Binner began his career with Winnebago County on May 19, 2003. Dave was an important part of the Winnebago County team for 22 years, and he will be greatly missed. Throughout his career with Winnebago County, Dave worked for the Highway Department, Airport, and the Parks Department. Dave always had the best interest of every resident in mind when he performed any task for the parks. Dave was very talented. He set an example for the rest of the team with his hard work and knowledge. He was able to operate any piece of equipment. Dave retired from the Parks Department on January 6, 2026. Dave will be enjoying his retirement with his family. Please join me in expressing our gratitude and best wishes as he enters a well-deserved retirement.
We had a motion made and seconded on all 9 resolutions for commendation. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Carried. And we'll go into consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Carried. Going to business items. Resolution 022501-12026, authorize Winnebago County entering into peaceless litigation. Supervisor Wise.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to approve Resolution 0225-012026 to authorize the Winnebago County entering into a PFAS litigation.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. I don't see any discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Carried. Number 2, Resolution 0226-01-0226, application of acceptance of a Wisconsin Partnership Program grant for $158,913 for the Winnebago County Public Health Department. Supervisor Hancock Cook.
Thank you,
Hold
Chairman
on.
Farry.
Hold on, hold on. Supervisor Cox?
I believe this has to be voted in a 2/3 vote. Is that correct?
She
Thank
was
you.
going to bring that up. Just,
Thank you.
do you want to bring it up now, being that it was talked about?
That's fine. I apologize to the supervisors and everyone here. The vote required for passage of this bill is 2/3 of members elect because it involves an appropriation. Typically, when you apply and accept for a grant, it's a majority. But given the fact that there is an appropriation that is being changed per 6590 sub 5 AR, it requires a 2/3 vote of members elect. And I apologize for misleading anybody regarding the vote required for this.
Supervisor Hancock Cook.
Thank you, Chairman Egan. I would like to propose the resolution to accept the Wisconsin Partnership Program grant for $1,585.913 for the Winnebago County Public Health Department.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded.
Well, there was a lot of words there.
Supervisor Ranky.
Are you going to introduce it, or?
I don't know. Am I supposed to? Yeah. Is this
what I'm
what I'm
Supervisor
supposed to talk
Okay.
about? Thank you. Go ahead, Lucas.
Yeah, I'm going to be voting in favor of this, and I would ask that everyone here do the same. What this program does is it puts 2 resource officers, one in Reed Elementary and one in, what was the other elementary? Menominee Elementary, thank you. Those 2 positions are entirely grant funded. There's no impact on the levy. There will be some Department of Health hours that will be devoted to monitoring this. Those will also be covered by the levy and covered by the grant. And in partnership with UW Oshkosh, who will be providing analytical support to help us analyze the data, and Dr. Sam Larson will be overseeing that. What these community health workers will be doing is connecting families and children to resources while they are already at a place that they frequent. They won't have to go outside of their normal operations to get access to things that can really help them on a day-to-day basis. This isn't, one of my favorite things that's brought up actually is a story that is on WKOW out of the Madison area. It's in a community school that they have down in that area, and they had an issue that came up in their school. I had a note on it in here somewhere. There it is. Community coordinator in Madison found no one in her school was using a tunnel that was nearby the school because it had 6 lanes of traffic to cross, was dirty, dark, and scary. So she mobilized community to feature artwork in their city, to get it lit, to put in giant flowers and animals. So this is not just about connecting resources. This is also about improving our communities and using our resources in an appropriate way. One other question that I'd heard raised earlier was why Oshkosh? And the simple answer to that question is because Oshkosh was involved early and ready. That was also one of my first questions as a member of the Board of Health when this came up, because I'm a Neenah resident, right? Why just Oshkosh? I also have a letter here. Sorry.
Supervisor Hanson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. While I understand and maybe appreciate the point of orders when I was asking questions of the county executive, I just remind you that our rules state that the agenda as posted under I, County Executive's Report, it opened up Wisconsin Partnership Program grant, which the county executive spoke on. If we continue in longstanding precedent and the rules, there can be no further presentation or question and answer after that point is closed. Thus, I asked the questions, because now all that can be discussed are individual opinions, or there can be no more questions. I'll just leave it at that. I am going to renew. I am deeply uncomfortable that it is limited to Oshkosh, that it is limited to only 2 schools in Oshkosh. I don't know why this is not being administered either through United Way or through the individual schools themselves, through the school nurses or United Way. Also, I'll just plainly say it as I said in another one. Please don't emotionally blackmail me into a vote that I would or would not be a good or bad person if I chose to not do this. That's not fair, that's not right, and you all know it.
Supervisor O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Wisconsin Partnership Program is a DEI initiative without the label. State Representative Shay Sortwell has released a full DEI report. You can Google this up. There's a section in Winnebago County, page 64. Do you want to know how we get DEI in Winnebago County? One way is accepting grants to fund programs like this. It's baked into the mission, funding priorities, and compliance requirements. The DEI framework introduces ideological bias, and it expands the role of the government care. It quite literally creates nanny state subsidies. This is not free money. I will not be voting for this program.
Supervisor Bender.
I'll just say the articles I read, Reed Elementary School, they have 69.5% of the students are economically disadvantaged. 28% are chronically absent. You take the next school, Menominee Elementary, 68.8% are disadvantaged with a 18% chronic absenteeism. You know, if we have the ability to give these students a better quality of education, they're our future. And if we're going to turn it down because they have no basically decent housing and they don't have the internet, maybe that, you know, you see people getting evicted all the time. I mean, and I realize no program is perfect. There's always going to be some disadvantages. You can always find something that's not going to work. But if we don't take this money, somebody else is going to take it, and their kids are going to benefit from it. And yes, it may not be perfect, but it's better than nothing.
Supervisor Nussbaum.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hope you all took the time to look at the materials that I sent out and the connections with DEI and Marxism and what this group that's giving us money is all about. And also, yesterday, more information came out. It was, the timing was just amazing. So if anybody wants more information, just let me know and I'll send you the link. Thanks.
Supervisor Facetto.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm just curious, we currently have a $500,000 grant for this, funding this project between January of 26 and 29. Is that correct in reading the material? And now we're adding another $158,973? Because I'm not sure, maybe I'm missing something here? Apparently I'm missing something here. As part of the 500,000. Gotcha, okay. And then the only other thing I wanted to ask was whether or not after this 3-year project is done, and when the county executive was talking about how we're going to be studying this and making sure we've got results, I mean, actual hard data to look at, that's going to obviously inform whatever we decide to do after that, after 2029, or whomever is on this board after 2029. I'm assuming that if we see something working, you're going to want to continue it, or at least get others involved so that it isn't just at the county. And I do respect Supervisor Hansen's comments about whether or not we are the right entity to be the driving force behind this. We do have a school board, and we have a lot of school boards in Winnebago County. And whether they should be the ones driving this after this pilot project is over with, that's going to be something I think we all need to be taking a hard look at, because I don't think it's appropriate for Winnebago County to be putting money towards stuff that, based on the information I read, there are some gaps in there. So I think we need to take a real hard look at this, depending on whether we want to continue funding it after 2029. Thank you.
Supervisor Patterson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At face value, I would say that this is something that we need to take a look at, but I have an area where I'm deeply concerned. The correlation between the actual resolution that we're voting on and the supporting material is just about zero, okay? Let's see, who's doing this? Resolution doesn't say. What are they doing? Resolution doesn't say. Where are they doing it? Resolution doesn't say. When are they doing it? Resolution doesn't say. The resolution talks a lot about why, also doesn't talk about how. So I'm not really sure what it is that I'm voting on. You know, like I said, and I'm a little surprised that this resolution was actually made it through 2 committees without actually detailing what the resolution is that we're voting on. So I don't like the fact that it's infinitely vague. In the supporting material, it also talks about the evaluation criteria will be developed by UW Oshkosh. That's fine. At no point does it talk about the board reevaluating as to whether or not this program is moving the needle at all, either at an annual point or year and a half point, whatever. So the resolution itself, in my opinion, is woefully inadequate. So I don't know how I can vote for this resolution when it's got nothing in it. All it talks about is why. Thank you for your time.
Supervisor Ranke, second time.
I believe I can't speak until everyone has had a turn to speak first. And if
Well,
I'm
other
not
ones
mistaken,
have.
there's at
Okay.
least one speaker
We've
after
only
me.
got 3 ahead of you right now. Supervisor Holt is next then.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will be supporting this as I did in the Personnel and Finance Committee meeting. I feel very strongly that we need to give all of our students a leg up as they start their lives. Our community will be stronger for it, as many of our constituents stated in the public comments. I believe that we do have a number of disadvantaged schools, in particular in our district, in Neenah and in Menasha, but I think this needs a starting place, and I support Oshkosh having the pilot of this to help us learn and to help us figure out what works and doesn't work, and helps us make better choices to expand it going forward. We have to start somewhere, and why not start in Oshkosh? Thank you.
Supervisor Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Supervisor Buck and I both had something to say, and his machine's not working, so I'll speak first and say that all the citizens who came tonight, no one was speaking against this. They were all in favor of it. I intend to vote for it. Reminder that this is money that has already been paid for by taxpayers, and it's now being handed out to various areas. If we don't take it, our tax money is going to go to support other areas, perhaps New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Hollywood. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I w-
Supervisor Buck.
Yep, thank you. I used to sit right where Supervisor O'Brien sat a number of years ago, and I used to sit next to a supervisor named Larry Smith, and he would say, "Kid, you always support these grants," because as Supervisor Powers said, that if we don't accept this, somebody else will. So my questions are, if we don't do this, what's your solution? I'm not hearing any. I'm also hearing that this passed the committees twice, so taking those things up. And then, like I said, we supported grants, you always supported grants, so asking yourself the why you're not supporting these grants now. And, if you want to play politics, you should go down to Madison or Washington, D.C., not Winnebago County. If you want to support the kids in Winnebago County schools, vote yes. Thank you.
Supervisor Hancock Cook.
Thank you, Chairman. I want to address a couple of things that I forgot. I should have addressed it first. We did discuss it at length in the Board of Health. I wanted to pass on that Chairman Harrison supports this completely. He's sorry he can't be here to vote for it. We did ask, because I am from Neenah, as Lucas mentioned, we said, why not Neenah? It's because these schools have very much higher levels of poverty and absenteeism, and they were ready. So that was a great opportunity. I want to point out that this is one of 7 of 51 projects that were awarded. So 7 out of 51, we were one of the 7 that got this grant. And that I want to highlight that there is clarification on what happens next. We have absolutely no intention of continuing to run this program after the grant's up. It's a 3-year experiment. We get to do the experiment at the expense of this grant, fully funded, to see what's going to happen. And at the end of that, the school districts take it over. And if you all received the letter of recommendation from the Neenah Joint School District superintendent, he highly supports this and is very interested in what the outcome's going to be. So even though we know that we'd love it to be in our school system, it's great that we get to do this experiment, and it's great that it gets to cost us nothing, and it's great that it gets to help these kids for these 3 years, even if it doesn't help everybody in the long run. So we get to decide. We will evaluate the data at the end, and we'll say, good luck, school districts, this is what we found out. We do not have to determine what to do with this data. They decide how they're going to act on it when we're done. So I just wanted to clarify those things. I love the idea that we get to do an experiment for somebody on somebody else's dime. Thank you.
Supervisor Barrow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Several things to mention. I won't go through the DEI aspects, as far as where it is reporting-wise, but several things I do want to hit, and I'll kind of build on Supervisor Hancock Cook. From the perspective, if this indeed is going to be going to a school district longer term, why are we not evaluating what the structure should be? How should the program be set up as part of this grant? How do we continue it? Because again, if we run this for 3 years and all of a sudden, hey, it looks promising, then what becomes the question? Well, we ought to have that then what defined. Should it be in the schools? Should it be in United Way? Where should it be? What aspect does the county have involvement in? So that's item number 1. And secondly, I still would suggest, given that this is Oshkosh based, most of the supervisors here are not representing people from Oshkosh. We all do. I understand that. This would look a lot more attractive to me if we had two school districts selected, because we'd also have a better experiment where we can compare the data. Even though it's convenient that I literally can walk from Oshkosh to the school, to the church, et cetera, in a little triangle, it's convenient. But I'm just saying, as far as design of experiment, it would be better with 2 schools that were apart. With that, I'll close. Thank you.
Supervisor Lopes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kate already said that after the 3 years, it gets handed off to the school district. It's a pilot program. I mean, I would love this for Menasha, but it's a pilot program. It's a test. It's got to be narrow. And so, c'est la vie. Also, I don't really care if it's coming from Karl Marx himself or Ayn Rand herself. If it's free money to help our kids in Winnebago County, I'm going to vote for it. Thank you.
Supervisor Hens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm sitting here listening carefully to everything that's being said because I came into tonight wanting to hear what everybody had to say. And one of the things I'm hearing is that this is a pilot program. That's why it's in 2 schools in Oshkosh. It's not that we're playing it's not that favorites are being played. It's that these were the schools that were ready. I'm also seeing that this is not a 3-year approval that we're doing tonight. We're approving 1 year. We're changing the budget for 1 year. And it seems to me that that would mean that next year they're going to have to come back to us again for another $150,000 ish, and we're going to be able to kick that can around and see what happened in the last year. I myself would like to see what happens in this first year, and I would like to have another kick at it next year. So I will be supporting this because this is going to come back to us. We're going to be voting on this again in another year, and I want to see what kind of good it can possibly do. And if everybody that's here that supports it and everybody that has come to support it, if they're correct and if they are, then we've got something here, and I think we should check that out because it's not free money, it's still our money, but let's put it to use for people in Winnebago County and see if we can do something to help improve the other schools. Thank you.
Supervisor Rankin, second time.
Hi. Some of the things I didn't get a chance to touch on in my first 2 minutes. The one key issue that I wanted to add on to this that I don't think has been mentioned yet is that part of this project also includes the creation of an advisory board that would be comprised of school administrators, community health workers, nonprofit partners, the research partner, which would be Dr. Sam Larson, and local officials that would be led by public health with a primary focus on the sustainability of the project. That would be the review portion that would be overseeing the project as it's going along. That would be public health's main, well, not their main, but that would be a big part of that. That would also go towards helping determine its stability or its long-term viability. Thank you. That's all I got.
Don't see anyone else. Who? Oh, Kate Hancock Cook.
Just
She's
withdrew
been
it.
already. She was up there. George is already. Anyone not speak yet? Spoke? Jeff Lutz. Supervisor Lutz.
You know, everybody keeps talking that it's free money. It's a trap. I mean, when have you ever seen a government program that starts that we don't keep funding? So, somebody's gonna have to pay for this, and we can't just keep spending money of our constituents. So I'm not gonna support this tonight, and, that was the reasons why. So.
Supervisor Bureau, second time.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just 2 points. I do want to touch on the free money thing, just to beat that horse into the ground. Our constituents, it's their money. We're talking it's free. Okay, it may not come to Winnebago County, but it goes to the federal or state government and comes back in the form of a grant. So that's item number 1. Somewhere we have to have fiscal responsibility, not just to our county, but to our state and country too. The second thing I want to mention, coming back to this advisory board, again, I would be more comfortable coming back to what Supervisor Patterson said, that there was definition in here regarding who's on that board. If we have multiple school districts involved, they can give a wider scope, a wider view of it and see, is this program applicable in Menasha? Can it work in Neenah? Can it work in Winnebago? But if that advisory board is primarily Oshkosh centric, again, we're back to the same issue, that this is a very narrowly defined grant. So with that all said, I will not be supporting the grant as written. Thank you.
Supervisor Powers.
Second time. Once again, I'm going to reiterate, this is free money and that this is money that our taxpayers have already paid at some point in some year. I don't know when, but it's already been taxed and paid for. Now it's being distributed. As to why it went to Oshkosh and not Winnebago, Neenah, Menasha, maybe those schools didn't apply for it. We got very fortunate that someone jumped on this and applied for it, and we got very lucky that 2 schools in Oshkosh were picked for it. If we turn it down, there is no money going back to your constituents. The taxes have already been paid, and it's now being redistributed, which is what everything we get in the county comes from someplace else, and we are charged with distributing money as we see fit. Some of you are not seeing fit to take care of these kids who are in abject poverty. I personally would like to see something happen with this. And again, we turn this down, it's gonna go someplace else. So the money your constituents already paid in taxes, it's just gonna go to some other community in some other state, and we're losing out. Thank you.
Supervisor Harrison on Zoom. I know he was going to try to be.
I gotta get off.
Okay.
Okay, then get on again.
Me too.
Okay. Supervisor Holt, I think this
Me
is
as well, I can't speak.
your second time.
Yep. Go ahead.
How many times you spoke?
This would be my second time.
I don't care. Oh,
Supervisor Holt.
thank you. So I just want to remind everybody that we're talking about 2 schools as a pilot program. I have a good friend who worked at Reed Elementary, and the trauma that her young people that she was teaching were suffering was enormous. For her to come to school, she knew she had to bring snacks, as was mentioned already. She would ask around the neighborhood for people to donate snacks to her students. She was broken by what her students went through. I would like to see us rally around our communities and help them be successful, starting with the youngest of us.
Supervisor Hancock Cook. I counted you as 3 times because you introduced it, so go ahead.
Sorry, thank you very much, Chairman. I want to ask or clarify a couple things that the moving it to another, the hypothesis that we, that we get better data if we moved it to another school district. There are numerous other school districts in Wisconsin that already have community schools that we can use their information from. And I want to clarify and ask a couple of questions of the experts we have behind us about a few questions. So could we have the director come up and address us if I ask questions specifically?
Not very long, if it's short, direct questions. She's going to ask them from right back there. If you want to just ask them right there. And
Sure, I'll ask you right there. So can you clarify what happens after the 3-year period is over?
Yes, and thank you. Yep, Doug Guerin, Public Health Director. This is a research project. It's being funded from an endowment at the medical college, at the University of Wisconsin Medical School. So these aren't actually direct tax dollars. A couple decades.
They just want to know what's going to happen at the end of 3 years. They don't want the long.
No problem. So at the end of 3 years, we have an evaluation. This project is evaluated as it goes on. We're working with the Whitburn Center at UW Oshkosh to do the evaluation. So we have an independent third-party evaluation of how this project worked. From that, the school districts in Winnebago County can decide, hey, is this a project that we want to continue? Is this something that we want to take on? Has it benefited our school districts and our students and our families? Has it allowed us to do more teaching and less navigation of issues at home? Has it decreased absentee rates and have test scores improved? If it's worth it to the school districts to continue this program, then they will decide to do that. This is a research project, and our goal here is to bring community schools to Winnebago to test it here and then see how things play out. It's not our intent to employ people for the long term, to run this for all school districts in Winnebago County. It's really about bringing a currently evidence-based program here, and if it benefits the county and the school districts and the students and families here, then the school districts can decide, how do we want to continue this? They can apply for grants, they can incorporate it into their budget, they can decide how this moves forward. They'll at least have the information from this pilot study to make that decision with.
Thank you, Mr. Guerin.
The last thing I wanted to highlight is, remember, there were 51 groups, counties or groups, school districts or whatever they are, entities that applied for these grants. 7 of them received the grants. We were one of them. If we don't take it, there are 43 other counties waiting.
Okay, I do not. Is that anyone? Yeah. Supervisor Powers. Supervisor Buck. There must be sharing mics tonight.
Well, my thing doesn't, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So when you apply for a grant, you have to put your name on the grant, so-and-so applies for the grant. So the school districts, that applied for the grant are getting the grant. So, Nina Menasha, can apply for the grant. So I think we worked real hard in this county to stop hey, the northern end of the county, the southern end of the county, yes, your district might be District 24, or District 36, but, we, at the end of the day, represent all the county. And maybe this is me, but I do care what happens at Reed School. I do care what happens at Winnebago School. I do care what happens at Amro School. So if you're making this decision because you're thinking, well, this isn't my school district, I don't care about that. When that kid is failing in Amro School, guess what? That can affect you down the road. When that kid is failing at, Carl Traeger School, that can affect you down the road. And so maybe I'm thinking about this differently, but I think that what affects some in the county affects all. Thank you.
Supervisor Bender.
I'd just like to say one other thing that the article says. Both schools serve neighborhoods facing elevated levels of food insecurity, rent burdens, housing instability. This program will help the parents maybe to find resources to give the children a stable home environment, a good meal. If we don't take this money, somebody else is going to take it. It's not like the money's going to get paid on the deficit. The money's being spent. It's a matter of, do you want to help the children of Winnebago County, or do you want to help the children of another county? It's basically, the program will come back to us, the help program, when basically the money was gone. We decided as a board to fund that program because we seen it basically helped families stay in their houses rather than getting evicted. If you can get these children to get an education, get into college, they're the future leaders. They may be the ones sitting on the county board. In 3 years, who knows if any of us will be on the county board to keep the program alive. But I don't see what we have to lose by trying something, and if it doesn't work, well, we tried. If it works, maybe it'll stay around for a long time and the kids will benefit from it. And that's our main goal, is to providing a good quality education so children can move on and have a good future.
Supervisor Laux. Second time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So sometimes I get real confused. Supervisor Burrow pointed out that the state taxpayers have already paid this money, or it was indirectly to a UW to do this testing. And instead of us accepting this money that our people have already paid in, we want to say Calumet County can have it, or Sheboygan County can have it, instead of taking it for our taxpayers, instead of running a pilot ourselves to show the rest of the state how well this works. It just seems sometimes like we're fighting for other counties. We're fighting for people that aren't in our county. And it just confuses me a lot. Thank you.
Supervisor Ponzer.
Yes, I always take the money. About 2 hours ago, I was in the back room and get the money. Get the money. And by the way, Reed School is a good choice. My daughter taught there for 9 or 10 years, now is up in the Menasha School District. So with that, I'm going to call for the question.
I have a motion made and seconded to call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Nay. Question will be called. Right. We'll vote by machine. And remember, it has to, if to pass, it has to be 2/3. 2/3. Two-thirds present or two-thirds? Present. Okay, so it's 2/3 member-elect, not just who's here. So all supervisors, it has to be by 2/3.
Supervisor Stafford. Supervisor Buck. Yet. Supervisor Cox. I'm here. Okay. Holy cats. It's 24 to 9 and 1 abstention. It fails, right? It fails. It failed.
And that failed 24-9 to 1.
Now it's 24, not 2/3.
I'm just reading that.
It's 30.
Your pen's not working very well, Mary Ann.
It's 24, it's 2/3 of members elect, so it would be 24, 36.
So it passed, and it didn't fail, it passed. Yeah. Okay, resolution 0227012026. Application and acceptance of the EPA Brownsfield Cleanup Grant for the American Fibers site at 204 Railroad Street in Menasha. Supervisor Cox. Turn them on.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to approve or motion to approve the 0227-01-2026 application and acceptance of the EPA Brownfield Cleanup Grant for the American Fibers site in Railroad Street.
Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Carried. Vice Chairman Fari. We are adjourned. I guess I should ask.